stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, here's me doing extra work. I can no longer post in, I can't, they did it. They cut us off. I cannot post, I cannot stream in my own fucking group. So, all right, doesn't seem like it affected anybody so far. So, no biggie. No biggie. This is not going to be some huge controversial topic, but I do think we need to talk about it. I mean, what do people think on this? And this is probably going to be, it's probably going to be pretty opinionated, I'm thinking. So this is more of a conversation than it is. I don't know necessarily what's right or what's wrong. I know how I feel about things. You know, and I'm certainly not trying to keep anybody out from anything. But at the same time, our message is being convoluted. And Dion ain't gonna go for that. You know, you don't hear people in NA bitching about the people in AA coming into their groups. I mean, there's a reason why these are separated, and there's a very good reason why they're separated. You know, you even have Narcotics Anonymous, and then you have Cocaine Anonymous, right? Because there were some people that just did cocaine, and there's a certain, they talk a certain way. As an alcoholic, I talked a certain way, and the disease of alcoholism, as far as addiction goes, is different than every other addiction out there. Okay. So I don't think it's okay to bash AA while utilizing AA, even though you're not an alcoholic. So, and you can be a member of all of them also. Yeah. Now, there are some people that are alcoholics and addicts, right? Now, when you go to a meeting and you're in an AA meeting, you're probably talking about your alcoholism, you know. But what we're really talking about in meetings is the solution to what it is that we go through. And is recovery the same? No, it is not. Everybody's like, oh, well, recovery we can just lump together because it's all the same. What happened to our different routes to recovery? Are we going to be open-minded, or are we going to kind of, you know, not, right? It's one of those two things. Let's do some introductions here. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. And if you're here, please say hello. Watching live or rewatch. I'm surprised I actually didn't get more people hopping on going. It's like when I did Instagram for a little while, and I get like 3 or 4 people. But when I made the statement, AA is not the only way, like 80 people showed up, and it was a clusterfuck. Speaking of which, if you have not heard the new podcast, it is out. You're like, how did clusterfuck go with the podcast? You'll find out. It's because she used that word during it, so it's on my mind. All right. So I'm going to turn to the big book here. I'm going to turn to the big book, as I usually do. And I'm going to go to There Is a Solution. No, there's a solution. What I want is page 25. That's what I want. There it is. Okay. There is a solution. Almost none of us like to know. That's not what I was going for. Here it is. More about alcoholism. I was close. Page 30. I was 5 pages off. So most of us have been unwilling to admit we were real alcoholics. And here it is. Here's the line. No person likes to think he is bodily and mentally different from his fellows. It has nothing to do with drinking. See, I never felt like I fit. That's the one continuum that I find with alcoholics most of the time. We never fit. We were always trying to force ourselves into things, right? I was always picked last for things. Playing Red Rover, I was always the last person. Okay. Kickball, even then, even though I was fantastic at kickball, whatever team I was on, I was winning. Okay. We're not going to, so it didn't matter how well I played. It was because I wasn't popular. Right. There was a reason I was a bedwetter till I was 11. I didn't get to live. I didn't have a childhood. Neither did you. You had to grow up really fucking fast. If you didn't have alcoholic parents, you had parents who had alcoholic parents and they overcompensated. They were sick, probably because they didn't get help. Okay. As an alcoholic, I was born bodily and mentally different from most people in the world. And until I find those people, I'm going to live a life of loneliness. Period. Trauma or no trauma, this will happen. Why am I bringing trauma into this? Because I know plenty of people who became alcoholic who had no trauma in their life. In fact, they had a fantastic childhood, but yet they still feel, then their parents did everything that they could, but they still felt like they didn't belong. It's the going thing. That's how I know. Okay. That's how I know. I am a real alcoholic. There are no qualms about that at all. Okay. So the thing is I wasn't trying to drink like other people. I just wanted to fucking fit in. I was tired of being the oddball, the one that was on the side, always having to fucking watch, but never able to play. We were treated unkindly. So you can imagine how I started treating people back once I got a little bit of liquid courage in me. You bet. You're probably wondering, how does this all apply? Because this is different. It is different. Not anybody can be an alcoholic, but anyone can be an addict. Period. That is fact. Even treatment should not be putting people together with opiate addiction. It is different. Recovery is the same. No, it's not. I used to think that too. I used to think recovery was the same too. No, my recovery is is not the same as yours. Michelle's recovery is different than mine. Thank God, right? Because she is different, right? It's just widely known that we are the people that we are born alcoholic. It's not a choice. A lot of people still won't accept that, even though we've proven it, just so you know. But it seems like it's a relief to a lot of alcoholics when they find out it wasn't their fucking fault, man. Okay? There was no choice. I wasn't given the choice of deal with my trauma this way or deal with it that way. No, that didn't happen, right? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people who are alcoholic who also become drug addicts. Okay. And for a lot of drug addicts, alcohol is a gateway drug for them. Okay. Well, I didn't get into hard drugs. I did some of them, but that would be a gateway for me, wouldn't it? But I'm still not going to do it. And I'm not going to go to CA. Okay. I'm not addicted to cocaine. I never was. I've tried it, loved it, didn't want it anymore. Actually, I didn't love it. Ecstasy, on the other hand, oh yeah, MMDA, oh yeah, loved it. Okay. I did that, I think, 3 times, and I'm like, man, I could so easily get addicted to this. No, thank you. And I didn't do it anymore. Even now, my brain's like, ooh, that sounds like fun. Therefore, it is not surprising that our drinking careers have been characterized by countless vain attempts to prove we could drink like other people. Now, just that proving we could drink like other people is just me trying to fit in. That's all it is. It's just that I have this one little thing that once I start to drink, I can't stop. Once I knowingly drink, I can't stop. When I intentionally put alcohol in my body, okay? And let me say something. If you are sober and you unintentionally put alcohol in your body, you did not fucking relapse, okay? Get the hell over yourself and move on with your day, would you? It's happened to me too. Yeah. So he handed me a drink. I didn't smell it first, and it was Jack and Coke. Okay, it went in my mouth, and I went, I spit it out. I was 20 something. The idea that someday he will control and enjoy his drinking is the great obsession of almost every but it isn't really the drinking. I mean, we think it's the drinking, but it's not. It's this thing. Okay? Since I was born an alcoholic, I was chosen to be an alcoholic. Okay? And I am certainly not discounting any other 12-step program. I would never do that. I think they're all great. But we have to remember what they're a spin-off of. Okay? And what did they do? What did they do? They changed the verbiage to suit their needs. Great. Fantastic. Do it, please. I think that's fantastic. But you don't need to come into our group to do it. You're not going to get the same. You'll get the same help, but a sponsor. I've worked with drug addicts, and they never ever make it with me because I'm not a drug addict. There are certain things I don't understand. Right? People that are drug addicts, there's certain things I don't understand. I don't know what it means to be caught in a trap house. I don't know what that means. I can understand it. I can kind of empathize with it, but I don't know what it actually fucking means. Okay? So on the other hand, I do know what it means to actually have a beautiful life and feel like the loneliest fucking person in the world because I'm breathing. That was how I was born. So you can imagine that we get a little upset when people come into our groups and start spouting stupid bullshit. Okay? AA is not where you come to dump your problems. I'm having a bad day. You want to do a check-in? If you want to do a check-in, go to Celebrate Recovery. That's where they do that. If you want to do a check-in, call your sponsor. Call another alcoholic. It doesn't belong in the groups. The groups consist of the solution in the book. That is it. We don't talk about anything else. Okay? And I'm not gonna clap for you. Just real quick. Don't come in saying, oh, I got a year and 4 months. I ain't clapping for you. All right? Follow the darn rules. Follow the darn rules. Do addicts belong in AA? My personal opinion, no, they don't. They belong in NA because they're going to be of more use there. Not because I don't like them, but because my primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. That is my number one goal. Then I will help the rest of you. Okay? Just like when I see somebody, they're like, "Ooh, I'm getting my recovery coach. Awesome. Are you sponsoring?" No, then don't. Sponsor people first before you become a recovery coach. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Okay? The other part of this, let's keep our clinical crap out of the meetings. Doesn't belong there. It doesn't belong there. Okay? I know. I deal with PTSD, anxiety, depression. Doesn't belong in the meetings. There are 12-step groups for that. I am there for alcoholism. And I will do everything that I can to ruin your drinking career. I cannot ruin your drugging career. I cannot make that same connection. Now, I'm going to tell you something. As an alcoholic, I actually can, and you can too, but it's not going to be the same. Okay? But when it's one addict helping another addict who understands what a trap house is like to be gang stalked, I don't know what that's like. I wasn't in that world. Okay. So if I don't understand that, then when I say you don't understand because you're not an alcoholic, then for God's sakes, believe me. Because you're just going to go into the meetings and spin your wheels. You're not going to hear what you need to hear because you're not in the right arena. You got to get in your arena. But AA is bigger, and it's bigger because we do a lot of fucking work. Do you know how hard I work to put together meetings to do all this? It consumes most of my time. But I do it because I need to. I need to. There's this yearning in me, this insistent yearning that I must give away everything that I have. Everything. Or I don't get to keep it. Now, an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous means anyone can attend. Okay? That means anyone can attend, but only alcoholics are supposed to speak. You don't get to share, but it's an open meeting. It doesn't matter. You're not an alcoholic. Okay? Now, sometimes we open it up, like sometimes I'll let my wife share. She came with me because it was my birthday or something. Maybe she gave me a ride. But a lot of times, she's just, "I'm Shannon. I'm here with Dion. Thank you." And then it just moves on. Okay? Also, if you are not an alcoholic, you should not be putting money in the basket. You cannot put money in the basket. If you are not an alcoholic, you don't get to pay. Okay? We are self-supporting, declining outside contributions. That is an outside contribution. If you die and leave your will to Alcoholics Anonymous, they will decline it. You are no longer a member of AA. You cannot give. Make sense? It's ours. Okay. And when I say that it's ours. Now, does that mean that we just close things off? No. Maybe instead of thinking, well, they don't belong in our meetings, then maybe we should think maybe we need more room so that we can have meetings for them also. Now that would be forward thinking. I know plenty of people that drink that were drug addicts and they drink just fine. I know both. But like earlier I was saying, because a lot of times at NA, and don't quote me on it because I don't know, but I believe they say that it's all drugs, including alcohol, and to them that makes sense. And that's, I think that's great. Alcohol is just not good for you. It's a poison. There's a reason they call it spirits. Go listen to the newest podcast. Steph was fantastic. She brought up some topics people just don't want to talk about, and I thought it was great. But you can kind of see why. Hi, Patricia. You can kind of see why we're protective of AA, though. You see, a lot of us have taken a lot of hard knocks to earn our seat. Okay. Now, that's me. You all earned your seat. I don't care how old you are. You earned your seat. You were born. If you were born an alcoholic, you earned your seat already because your life's already fucked up. We were born with insurmountable problems, man. We were. We talk a different language. And I know if you're alcoholic or not because we say things a certain way. It's just how we are, man. And I don't mind. I'm not going to sit there because you're an alcoholic if you say you are. And that makes you a member of AA. But, my wife's not going to go in and say, I'm an alcoholic just so she can be a part of AA. So let's do this right. I touched on it a little bit, even with treatment. Why are we lumping everybody together in treatment? It's not the same. It isn't. If it was all the same, if all the 12 steps were the same for everybody, we wouldn't need any other book besides this one. But that's not true. We do need more. It even says in here, it says God will reveal more to you and to us. Okay? Yeah, we want those spin-offs. But then what they did is they wrote it according to them. So go use that. Okay? And we don't mind if you steal it. We stole it. We stole it from Oxford Group and from, I don't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember. But there's another group involved too. So there were a lot of people involved. Carl Jung was involved. When we talk about our great medical benefactor, Carl Jung, man. Carl Jung was one of the greatest psychiatry minds in the world. Okay? And we're not any smarter than they were back in the 20s and 30s. And even he said, this is how you do it. Okay? Spirit with spirit. Alcoholics with alcoholics. Addicts with addicts. Okay? Then we come together. But let's heal first. Okay? Let's heal first. But first we got to get in the right lanes. So, like I said, this was opinion only. I certainly have no say-so on who gets to go where and do what and say what. That is not my job. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I got my own monkeys. I don't need any more. And they're flying monkeys. Whoop! All right. So my answer is going to be yes at open meetings, but you don't really get to talk. Okay. And there's a lot of people that go to AA. They say, I'm an alcoholic and an addict. Yeah, I know better. Okay. If you're in an AA meeting, just say alcoholic. If you're in an NA meeting, say addict, or you're going to confuse people. And we don't need to be terminally unique. It's about conforming to whatever that particular group is doing. That's why we have rules. That's why we have structure. That's why we have discipline. We alcoholics are undisciplined. We alcoholics are undisciplined. We are born with denial. We're born with it. Okay? And we love anything that makes us feel better. We love anything that will help us escape the fucking torture between our ears. Because it's a lonely world until you get here. See, when an alcoholic in all of his sufferings walks into a meeting and somebody says, "Welcome home," you'll know. You'll know. I love you all. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go wind down. I got a lot accomplished today. Very proud of myself. Good job, Dion. That's all you do. I love you. Peace out. And have a